Philosophy means love of wisdom. Do you want to live wiser? Write it down if you do. Write down, I want to live more wisely. And futility means pointlessness or uselessness. Do you ever experience feelings of what's the point? And what can you do about that? Write down the question if you have that experience, if you feel that way sometime. What's the point? So this story is about futility, Futility. You can see in the word utility, without the F, utility means it's useful. We have sport utility vehicles. It's a vehicle that we can use for other things. But futility means, what's the point of this? And it's worth something to reflect and think about philosophy, which is like, how can I live more wisely? And also, along with that, futility. Because if you're like me, you probably never escape that feeling of what's the point. Maybe not even for a second do I not feel that sense of futility. So this story is a story of futility, but I get something out of it. The story is true. It happened in Oklahoma, in a very small town, a very small high school. Only 2 students who went off to college, and they barely made it through college. And in that small high school where everybody knows everybody, there were 2 boys or young men in that high school. Both of them were good football players. A student who barely made it by. All of his teachers did everything they could to help him pass. They poured themselves into him. They were his parents, essentially. His home wasn't that supportive to help him get through, but the teachers and the people at the school, they helped him. They dragged him through so that eventually he could graduate from high school. Meanwhile, the other boy in high school was excellent on the football team. He could press over his head 200 some odd pounds. He also had straight A's all the way through high school. Never made anything less than an A. Both these boys, or young men, graduated from high school. At some point, they both, in just a few years, ended up working on the same crew, working on oil drilling equipment. And one day they were working, and up above them was a really heavy piece of machinery that was bolted to another really heavy piece of machinery. But due to the vibrations, and maybe someone didn't tighten a bolt that they were supposed to, the machine fell and crushed both these young men. It killed the former straight A student. And the student who had done poorly and just barely gotten by, and everyone poured into him so that he could make it, he was paralyzed for the rest of his life. Now, that's the feeling that I have, honestly, in a lot of the stuff that I do. I feel like, what is the point? Like, what promise is there that there's going to be anything out of this for my own success or even somebody else's? But when I really spend time really thinking about it, without just having the feeling, I think about, why do I have this feeling? What can I do about it? When I reflect like this, this is what I think. This is what I say. Whatever I do, whether it's for my own success or not, whatever I do, whether it's for my own success or not, I'm determined to do it with love and with purpose. Whatever I do, whether it's for my own success or not, I'm determined to do it with love and with purpose. So if you want to write that down, whatever I do for yourself, whether it's for my own success or not, I'm determined to do it with love and with purpose. Or if you want to change that last part of it and say, I'm determined to, and write what you're determined to do. So this is, this question of what's the point comes up for you all the time. Or if you let it, you would know it's always there. So it would do us well if we had an answer for it. If we had just the same solid answer. So it doesn't matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, what time of day it is. You know for yourself what your answer to that is, rather than just being at the mercy of that feeling of what's the point. So if you will turn that in, you can make up a warm-up grade. I might even give you more than that. If you will take some notes on this story, they don't have to be long, they don't have to be special kind of notes. If I were taking notes on that story, I would write down some key words out of my own life that aren't even used in that story, but I would put some key words there of the stories maybe that are fresher for myself. I would put those down for my notes, and I'd put some stars by them or something. But you do it your own way. You jot something down so that you connect that story to your own feelings that you have regularly, and then you write that kind of like a purpose statement of whatever I do, whether it's for my own success or not, whether it turns out that all this effort you put in high school actually didn't get you anywhere, or whether you put all this effort into high school and, well, you do end up getting somewhere someday. None of us knows this. Either way, what are you going to do about it right now with that haunting feeling? So if you'll turn that in on Google Classroom, I'll give you some points for it, but I'm guessing that it will pay off for you more than just for that assignment. Stay safe and make it whale money.